happen this weekend. The Western Sydney Wanderers up against Adelaide tomorrow. If Brisbane win here, Western Sydney lose to Adelaide, and the Premier's plate is theirs.
Could go 13 points up with 3 points here. Brisbane, Mackay. Big match also for Dimi Vitratos. Leah Bass. Luke Breton just breaks up the play, which he's done so well this season. Huge responsibility on the shoulders of Matt Smith. I know Shane Stefanuto has played the majority of his football at left fullback, but did pop up in the centre a couple of times last season. Here's Corey Brown.
Yeah, just wasn't able to deal with that. Should have. Corey Brown has always done very well this season. That left fullback position. Stefanuto across the left stopper, and I was speaking to Frank Farina in the tunnel. He was saying what a shame it was to be missing the likes of Del Piero and Despotovsky just when Brisbane, Despodovic, sorry, as they're depleted in that sort of area, Brisbane. So a real blow. Despodovic out for 3 weeks in a brace. Frank Farina said they're hoping that's going to be only 2 weeks. It's still a massive blow at a crucial time in the season.
Liam Miller. Hinger, of course, also the combination between Despodovic and Del Piero have been certainly on the same page this season. So it's a double blow. Despodovic injured and unfortunate tackle at training during the week. Broich.
Broich coming into the central area very, very early, opening up the channel on the left-hand side.
Smith's ball couldn't find its way through. Of course, also Ivan Franjic with an ankle injury. He started the season at right wing, but has been pushed back to right fullback. Jack Hingett hasn't seen a lot of first-team football in the past month and a bit. So a number of different factors here tonight. Brisbane showed a lot of quality last week against Adelaide. It was the battle of the passing teams. Tremendous goal by Besart Berisha. Came up with a brace. Into double figures with 10 goals. He was missing in that 5-2 romp earlier in the season at the stadium. There's Garcia. Over the top, Rosevsky.
He was too eager. He wanted that ball a little bit quick when he was on the front foot. He just needed to hold his run. It was a wonderful opportunity to play him in behind. He's got a lot of pace, Rosevsky, so he doesn't need to go too early.
Product of the Rockdale Club in Sydney.
Sloppy pass from Matt Smith. So a rather hesitant start from Brisbane Roar.
Of course, a short turnaround for them. They played on Sunday. A couple of training sessions during the week. Broich always with a licence to roam. He wins the free kick, the most foul played, or the most fouled player in the A-League. Bratton. Berisha. You see Smith pushing up to add an extra body in midfield. Here's the Raw captain. Not too much on offer ahead of him, so he goes sideways to Bratton. Better pitch this week. It really was chopped up for the derby. Could affect the first half. Things settled down in the second. Patient build up this. Smith. And that's ill-directed. Hingett was making the run, but it was in behind the right back. Sydney won the first ever meeting between these two sides, but since then, claimed only 3 further wins in the subsequent 21-match run. So certainly Brisbane have dominated in recent years.
It's an incredible record they do have against Sydney, isn't it? 12 games, 9 wins, only 1 draw in there. This year, 2 of their very best performances have come against Sydney. 4-0 The last time they met here, 5-2 in the masterclass on Brisbane Roar. Sydney are travelling better these days.
Floated over the top by Mackay. And how did you see the introduction, the reintroduction of Seb Ryle at right back, given the fact that Thomas Broich does do a lot of damage on that left-hand side?
Yeah, I think that's why he's brought Ryle in. Aaron Calver's done very, very well in that position when called on this season. And he's on the bench. And just the experience, I think, of Seb Ryle. And you see Thomas Broich maybe a little bit conscious of that, and for that reason he's drifted very centrally early in this game.
Mackay just turning into trouble and dispossessed as a result. And Tony's just copped a knock to the ankle, I think. And he's one player that doesn't need any more injury concerns, Terry Antonis. There's Haji Gligor, so it's a youthful-looking midfield for Sydney FC. Couldn't say that early season. I think that's been part of the reason they've produced a lot more from the engine room.
Yeah, Antonis coming back's been a big plus for them. No doubt he's getting better and better as well.
They'll try to exploit Alex Jurasevski's lack of experience. Throw quickly taken. Hingett summing up the options. Miller back to Bratton. And it's a poor decision. Very hefty challenge there by Matt Smith. Captain on captain with Richie Garcia having the opening.
Yeah, it had to be well timed, and was. And Sydney doing very well there. Sydney back, they're allowing Brisbane to have that possession. There's the challenge. He gets to the ball first.
Broich short. Ball overhit. Janjetovic, who had an outstanding match last week, notwithstanding that penalty save. Of pushing and shoving between Petratos and Ognenovski. Of course, Dimir Petratos against his old club.
Yeah, hat-trick in the game here, 5-2. When it was a happy homecoming, if you want to put it that way, for Dimir Petratos. Sasha Ognenovski had an issue with Petratos here, saying that he left his foot in there. Janjetovic didn't complain. Ognenovski playing the leader out there, as he's done so well since he's arrived.
Was a former, as it was then, Queensland Roar player, Sasha Ognenovski. Broich, experience combined there with Mackay. Opens up now for Brisbane. A lot of movement too. On the right is Hingett. Here's Berisha. One way, then the other. And he shoots, but wasn't quite on balance when he pulled the trigger.
Yeah, just off balance. But you see his confidence at the moment. Superb strike last week in his brace. And this one, a little inside, makes half a yard for himself and just screws it across the face of goal.
Such an emotional player, Besar Berisha. Really wants to leave Brisbane, which he will be doing at season's end, but with trophies. That's his aim. Stefanuto pushes it back to Theo. Berisha just edged Ognenovski out of the contest.
A free kick there. Certainly not happy with Corey Brown's challenge on Richard Garcia. And Sydney's tactics, see, they're dropping off to the halfway line. And once they approach that halfway line, that's when they're pressing.
For large majorities of the match against Adelaide, it won't happen here tonight, Rob, but what's the Sky Blues' best approach?
Well, I think Frank Farina has virtually conceded that Brisbane will have most of the possession. That's why they're dropping off to the halfway line and then pressing, being compact, pressing once that ball comes further forward into their own half. And I think those tactics are probably right. You've just got to watch, particularly Broich, when he drops into those little pockets. You've got to condense that space.
Mackay caught. We get to Bratton and Mackay and Broich on the ball in the midfield area can be a very, very daunting task, and that wasn't the best delivery. Hingett again made a run. There's Josip Gombau, of course, Sydney FC Adelaide's opponent after this weekend, but he's got Western Sydney to negotiate tomorrow, and that's a huge match for the Reds in their finals aspirations. Adelaide beat Brisbane earlier in the season at Suncorp, but of course lost last week. Players not playing in natural defensive positions. Matt German not a normal left fullback, and neither is Shane Stefanito a centre back.
Well, Sydney have done it for a number of weeks now, basically playing with 4 centre halves across the back line. 3 wins in their last 4 matches suggests that it has worked for them.
Ruseski tracking back, a quarter of an hour gone. Bit of a cagey opening at Allianz Stadium. A lot at stake. It was an early rebounded effort by Seb Roller. I think I might have said it at the time, Rob. It was a good snapshot. Probably wasn't a snapshot as such, but it might have...
Well, ended up a snapshot. Thomas Bruce just dwelling on that ball, and it's so nearly caught Theo.
Spots the run and delivers in the end too heavily. Petratos is making that angled run in behind German. And there's the possession stats, 74 to 26, but it's what Brisbane's doing with their possession that probably is not pleasing Mike Mulvey too much at the moment. Not their usual fluency in passing. Ball launch forward. Easy one to defend for Brisbane Roar. Pekovic yet to score in the A-League. He's hit the woodwork a number of times. Opens up for the Sky Blues, but seeing the advantage perhaps it was played, but the shot won't count because the whistle was there from the New Zealand referee.
Well, he got through the challenge from Bratton, and he should have allowed the advantage here. This is the foul he's come back for, but German went on with it. And he could have come back quite easily. There's the challenge from Bratton. He got through it. That was the strike at the end.
Because Mac German scored his first ever A-League goal last week. Didn't know much about it. Knew plenty about that shot. Pekovic trying to angle the free kick a little bit too far away for a direct route on goal. But his angle's right. To be overhit, but that's a good centering header. Garcia was there, but just over his head. The Sydney FC captain on his heels as well.
Yeah, look, I think everyone thought that ball was going out from German. Garcia did well at the back, Seb right at the back post. And Garcia just in there a little bit early, and looped over his head. Here's the ball to the back post. Brisbane have pretty much given it up. What a super header that is. Back across the face of goal. Just looking for someone to come in and nod that home.
Pekovic has played every minute for Sydney FC. Remember, he came to the club a little bit underdone, so it's been an outstanding effort on his part to get his body right for all the matches. Frank Farina has used over 30 players, I think, last count, 33 players this season. He's turned over his squad looking for the right formula. Now it's Brisbane. Not being too aggressive when they get space, the Roar. By their standards, a bit circumspect. Good touch by Broich. Opens up now. Ball is squared, but under hit to the German. Mackay takes a touch inside. Middle to Bratton. Petratos dispossessed. He'll win it back though for Brisbane. Getting Petratos, looks to nick it around Urasevsky. Opens up for Hengett. Needs a quality delivery. Broich gets the header on target, but just didn't quite have the power to worry Janjetovic.
I think he was going backwards. Decent ball. He picked him out. Hing it.
Good break on here for Sydney FC. Corey Gamero. Haven't seen a lot of him. Garcia needs support. Richie Garcia. Numbers getting back for Brisbane. Ali Abbas. Abbas, good shape to the centre, but Corey Brown was taking no risks.
Yeah, Corey Brown. I think he got a shout, but you can't take a risk there. I think he's done the right thing. And Boy's not known for his heading. You see, he's just backpedaling. He did well to control the header, and Janjetovic was very happy to see that come straight at him. And the first real time we've seen Brisbane get him behind, but it was a good, swift counter-attack from Sydney.
And a good, energetic start for Sydney FC. Approaching 20 minutes.
And recently, been very good in set pieces, Sydney.
Let's see if Ogdonovsky can play a part. Delivery in the middle. And it was said right at the end. Thinking that the Sky Blues had won a corner. From the view of Peter O'Leary.
A decent ball, and Theo thought about it and then didn't come. Like it might have come off the Brisbane player.
Brisbane need 3 goals to become the second team to reach 350 A-League goals. And what we've seen, it won't be the rampant type of bench that the fans witnessed on Boxing Day. Brett. Berisha played early, but well defended by Pekovic. He read the play well.
Yeah, he needed to as well. A little movement there from Berisha as well. And hing it in behind again. You can see what he's trying to do. Petrados was coming in through the middle. He just didn't get his delivery right. Good energy again from Sydney, closing down this time. Gligor.
Brisbane's defensive issues compounded with the injury to James Donachie as well. He's the backup centre-half who has played wide. So it's meant that Stefanuto is in that central position with Matt Smith, whether that blunts Smith's ability to come out and play as the extra man in midfield. We'll wait and see. Well chopped out there by Bratton. Mackay. Back to Bratton. Berisha. Good build-up here for Brisbane. Matty Mackay trying to fashion an opening, but there's one touch too many. Luke Bratton can hit them. Pushed it wide for Broich. Square. Bratton just let the touch get away from him. And a potential break on here for Sydney FC. Played behind Urusevski by Abbas. Back to the Iraqi international. And that square ball was poorly executed.
I think he was looking for Urusevski. Had gone deeper than that where that pass went. Again, the counter-attack. Brisbane, just a few glimpses in the last few minutes. Towards that final third, are getting a bit better.
Broich hugging the touchline, and again, just an excellent first touch.
Well, he's on the hunt for the golden boot. Besar Berisha. What about the play from Thomas Broich on the left-hand side? Most of his first half, he's been in the central area. He drifted out onto the touchline, and as he quite often does, he just drifts in. He controls the ball perfectly. He's already got his head up. Look at the run from Berisha. He just pulls up. It's not great defending. Super header. He just heads it back from where it's come from. He doesn't need any pace on it. He only needs direction. He gets that. Take a bow, Berisha. That's a wonderful goal. And a wonderful setup from Thomas Broich.
Perfect weight by Besar Berisha. Perfect delivery. And we've said it a few times. Perfect goal for Brisbane. He scored that brace last week. 10th time in his career that he scored multiple goals in a match. He's beyond equal fourth now on the all-time list. 46 A-League goals. He's past Mark Bridge.
Well, that was the only place he was going to score, and that's what you want. Just hit. As the momentum of the goalkeeper is coming across, following the centre, and you head it back the other way, the goalkeeper can't readjust. It really was a perfect header. Great vision and execution from Thomas Broich, but on the other hand, I think it was Petkovic who was picking up Berisha. He just got caught ball watching and allowed Berisha to drift off him. And you can't do that with Berisha's ability. First chance, and they've struck.
Such a composed finish. That's exactly why Melbourne Victory have come a-calling for Besart Berisha.
Well, they've come a-calling, they've got him, and it's going to be massive boots to fill next season. But there's the goal again. Great touch from Broich. Always does. He just drifts in, and his vision. And there you see Petkovic just caught ball watching, and Berisha didn't make the run forward. He just drifted off his shoulder into that free space behind. He still had a lot to do. Didn't he do it well?
11th assist for Thomas Broich. His excellent season continues. Miller.
Well, Sydney will be disappointed because tactically it had worked so well for them. Brisbane hadn't had a chance. Well, when you do have that quality out there in Thomas Broich and Berisha, there's one thing knowing it's going to happen. There's another thing stopping it. Sydney got to stick to their game plan. A long way to go. Came from behind last week, showing great character. Could have gone 2 behind with the penalty. Came back in a magnificent theatre to take it out 3-1.
No pressure on Brisbane for the moment. When they get to halfway, as you mentioned, Rob, Sydney then tend to press. Ligor, that's a iffy back pass. Ogdonovski has to scramble it wide. That was a really good direction on the back pass by Saso Ogdonovski.
Yeah, just took it away. Berisha putting the pressure on Janjetovic. And you see confidence of now Brisbane. Sydney very, very deep. And the tactic is good to sit off and let them play in front of you. You don't want to get too deep though. Every Sydney player in their own half.
Not controlled by Berisha. May spark a counter-attack. Camiro's got the legs and pace. Antonis looks centrally, then drags it wide.
Yeah, didn't go quick enough. When you get the ball and you win the ball like that in that sort of area, that's when you've got to go quick. And it allowed Brisbane to get numbers back.
What about that injury to Terry Antonis? Potentially career-threatening. A ruptured quad tendon. It wasn't the muscle, it was the tendon. Such a tough injury to come back from. And he scored that brilliant goal against Perth Glory. And let's hope his body stays in one piece, because there's no doubting his football ability.
Now on top of that, mentally for him, because he was rumoured to be off overseas when it was all done and dusted. The Italian club Parma that was, of course, and so he had to deal with that as well. And he's still only a kid, really. He's got plenty of time, and he's...
Matt Smith leads the stats in completed passes. Just shows you how much of a fantastic foil he is for Brisbane, playing out for the back. There's that extra body when they're moving forward in midfield. Brisbane player down.
Well, 2 Brisbane players running into each other. It was Luke Bratton and Petratos.
All over the top, searching for Urosevski. Hingett, shoulder to shoulder with him. Hingett lost his footing. Urosevski then had the chance to push into space.
Well, he beat him there, Urosevski. They could have got that cross in. Urasevsky has been absolute dynamite in Sydney's youth team for a number of seasons now. I think prefer to play centrally as a central striker.
Excellent ball retention here for Brisbane. You can see that just their confidence is gradually building. Just shy of the half hour, and they lead courtesy of Bessa Barisha's 11th goal this season.
That's a little triangle that they do so well. The two stoppers split, and Bratton, sometimes Miller dropping in to make the little triangle.
Roar win it back momentarily. Pekovic calls for it to be his ball. Sweet left foot. Picks out Garcia. Terrific delivery. Gamiro operating deep.
That's a poor pass. So that breaks the momentum going forward, rhythm. He played that ball to Seb Ryle. Now when Sydney attack and they have now getting a bit of possession again, it's sloppy. Just breaks that momentum going forward. That's better facing forward, Gligor. But what they miss when they do have this possession, they get into the other half, it's that creativity from Del Piero, isn't it?
Angle ball, searching for Urasevsky. It was just a cushioned header. Smith knew that Theo would read it, which he did. Really put pressure on this man, Shane Stefanuto, playing out. A lot of experience in his 100th A-League game. Of course, had that short stint with the North Queensland Fury. Majority of his A-League games, large percentage with Brisbane Roar. In fact, all his National League come A-League matches have been playing with Queensland teams. He had that stint in Europe for a number of years. Switch to the right. Ball trapped by Petranos. Allowed to ping the ball around at will. Stefanuto slides it to Broich, who returns the favour. Now Gamiro pushes on. It's risky from Stefanuto. Alessandro Del Piero has his best scoring record against the Roar, 5 goals in 5 matches against them. And that to the 6 of Ranko Despotovic this season. And that's a lot of goal scoring threat missing from your team. Certainly found his rhythm pretty quickly. Get in front of Luke Bratton there.
Yeah, very close. Garcia was unmarked in the right-hand channel. Bush with the mistake.
Opens up for Broich. Just overhit somewhat. Petranos made an excellent run on the shoulder there of Matt German.
Yeah, he got on the inside of German, and Bush trying to pick him out. Just a little bit too much weight on the pass.
That's well done. Abbas trying to combine here with Urasevsky. Garcia joins in. Excellent challenge. Hingett had to be inch perfect with that challenge. Abbas swings in the cross. Opens up here for Antonis. He hits it, the second attempt, but it deflects wide. Didn't quite work out there for Sydney FC.
No, it just wouldn't drop for Antonis. It looked like his first touch he was going to be able to swap his work. Good work initially from Hingett. And then he's got a chance to clear it. He didn't. Abbas got it across. And Thomas with the strike. And it was rather scrappy from Brisbane. And Sydney with a set piece where they have looked threatening. Could that be the way back?
Corner swung in. And the header's on target. It's in. Seth Ryle. He scored home and away against Melbourne Victory. But he strikes a blow against the Roar at home. It's 1-1.
Well, I think he's surprised it gets there. But it ends up in the back of the net from Sebastian Ryle. And Brisbane haven't looked confident defending set pieces. He had one earlier on in the half, Seth Ryle. Good delivery, but I think Theo should be coming for this. He comes into no man's land. And Seth Ryle with a really good header. Probably surprised Theo didn't come for it. Sort of just hits him. And it goes into an empty net. Theo in no man's land. Sydney back on level terms.
Back in the starting lineup and on the score sheet. He threatened earlier in the half from the corner. He's got that right, Seth Ryle.
Well, Brisbane just really sloppy at the back, allowing the corner to be given. And maybe just a little bit lazy since they've taken the lead, and Sydney strike back. And they've been very good from set pieces in recent weeks, and it's proved the case again.
Mike Mulvey expects so much from this group. They certainly did let their guard down from that set piece. Quarter of an hour period where they dominated the Sky Blues, but it's back level pegging. Mackay.
Oh, yet again, Sydney come from behind. It's good character. Brisbane have only had that one chance. It was a great goal in its conception, but they found it really difficult to get in behind Sydney. See how compact Sydney are there.
Smith pushing up to midfield. Mackay. Petrantos under pressure. Legal to tidy up. That wasn't so well done by Janjetovic. He had an excellent match last week, as we mentioned. Berisha. Here's a chance. Brisbane deflected and pushed wide by Janjetovic. It was Liam Miller with a shot.
Yeah, it's a really good save in the end because it does take that deflection. It was going straighter, and Janjetovic diving right across the left-hand side. Well, it wasn't going in. He wasn't to know that. And it gives Brisbane a chance from the set piece.
6 saves last week, including that penalty from Vedran Janjetovic. Cut it out. The word on the Bessa Berisha. About smoking that near post. Corner swinging away. And it was Terry Antonis not knowing too much about that header.
No, he didn't. A wicked ball coming in. Just hit Antonis, and Janjetovic very easy to clear that one up.
Mentioned before, when Sydney do drop, it does invite the combinations for Brisbane. Start to flow, don't they, when they get that space. Berisha winning two-footed, and it was lunging too, and certainly there was contact on Brisbane's number 7. What's going to be the result?
And the yellow card's out. It was a strong challenge. He's holding his head, so it must have been afters.
Peter O'Leary was quickly at the scene. He was well positioned to observe what happened. Certainly initially it looked like Berisha was in the air, two-footed, lunging in. After that, he's collected a knock.
the ball is stretching there. With the head. Well, that was might have been Thomas Borch's knee. That's why he's holding his head. It is. But I think the yellow card's going to go to Berisha.
Just the bridge of the nose is cut. And Seb Ryle gets the yellow card. Well, I think he's a bit unfortunate there. He has pushed Berisha after.
I'm feeling Berisha's going to get one as well.
Needs a red card. Goes up Berisha for what we think is the initial challenge.
Well, that's a poor decision. It's a yellow card. It's not a red. That's a terrible, terrible decision from the referee. And we're seeing too many of them. Berisha can't believe it. He did come in. He did dive in, but it's never a red card. The referee should hang his head in shame. Really should. I'm not sure whether when he went to speak to the referee's assistant, whether that's changed his mind. He had the yellow out very quickly.
Well, Brishart's not going to win.
Well, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
Well, I feel sorry for Berisha. What's he going to do now? Well, he's lost control because he's had a nightmare. Dear, oh dear.
Berisha said, what's happening? And I'm sure Brisbane Roar fans around Australia are saying the same thing.
Well, you can't confuse players going in to injure people. Or you can't confuse that with a player genuinely going for the ball, over-enthusiastic maybe. Yellow card at best. There it comes down. It always look worse in slow motion.
I think Frank Farina's saying exactly that. Of course, Farina, a former coach of Brisbane Roar, as was his assistant here.
Well, what it is, it's grossly unfair, but it's a massive boost to Sydney. They've come back and equalised, and now they're against 10 men with their major marksman off the field with a red card.
Major talking point of the first half has ended with Besart Berisha being sent to the locker room. He sees red. Brisbane down to 10 despite having an early lead. They've got a difficult assignment on their hands now. Coming back from an offside position. I think Mike Mulvey would be stunned, disappointed.
Well, I think you see the reaction of Frank Farina, who has seen the replays as well. Now, when you see it on the slow-mo, the initial sort of launches him, I think that's what gets him in trouble. But the referee should be experienced enough to see it for what it is.
Brown, good slalom run here by Corey Brown. Sydney try to exploit their man advantage.
I was about to say, it'd be interesting to see if they change their tactics and maybe press on a little bit higher now. They've got that man advantage. Might wait till half-time to readjust that. If there is a team equipped to play with 10 men, it certainly is Brisbane.
Good work by Luke Bratton. Bratton just working his way into shooting range. Challenge from Ogdenowski. It was clean. I think he's made every challenge, every tackle. He's been an effective one so far in his A-League return, Sasha Ogdenowski. Jedovich lacked concentration and almost ended up in disaster with a rebound off Thomas Broich.
Well, he's so lucky there's not more pace on that ball, because that was going to go into an empty net. Thomas Broich closing him down, took the risk, got away with it.
Suddenly the volume has gone up. Allianz Stadium, and we talk about goalkeeping concentration. He was in two minds there, Michael Theo. Thought the defender was coming. Close to half-time. And after the sending off of Besart Berisha. Giving for Trantos, waits for the run of Hinger. He arrives with purpose, but it's not so purposeful in that centre from Jack Hinger.
Maybe give him a bit of credit here and say that he was going for the strike. Maybe Mackay was the only one in the middle, but the way he hit it looked like he was going for goal. Whistle past Jan Jedovich. Hit it full on with the laces, Jack Hinger.
And the A-League is never short of drama. Always produces it. It did in the derby last week. And here's Olszewski. He shoots, and to hit that bare patch in front of Michael Theo may have been interesting. Patch is a little bit cut up in front of the Roar goalkeeper. Bratton's work rate has been exemplary. Releasing Corey Brown, but Bogdanovsky across quickly. Using all his experience and guile. Body strength as well. Talk about drawing down the clock. For Adelaide and Queensland Roar.
Well,
Corey spell.
Yeah, Corey Brown did well there not to commit the foul. Bogdanovsky really had nowhere to go.
Broich. Two blue shirts to contend with, and does he win the corner? He thought he did.
Well, that referee departed the scene very quickly. Thomas Broich. Well, not when you get that sort of reaction. He's usually probably right.
Jedovich with the goal kick. Brown nods it down as it's flipped over by Broich. On the path now of Abbas. The referee checks his watch. Ali Abbas is away. There's options, back stick, and that's a good defensive header by Stefanuto. And the man in the hot seat brings an end to the first half. Peter O'Leary will be in the spotlight, I'm sure, at the break.
Well, the Brisbane players going straight to him.
Besart Berisha opened the scoring for his 11th goal of the season. Several equalised for Sydney FC, but then Berisha sent off for a two-footed challenge incident. Kiwi referee gets the proceedings underway for the second half. How will Sydney FC take advantage of their man advantage? And Brisbane, who are not averse to playing with 10 men for half of football. They've done it twice previously for a loss against Adelaide and that scoreless draw against Perth in Perth earlier in the season. How will they respond?
Well, it's not in their makeup to just put two banks of four, one up front and defend. They'll keep trying to play. It'll be interesting to see Sydney what they do tactically. Whether they come out and press higher against the 10 men. You would think that. Or do they still stay nice and compact as they did for most of that first half, you'd have to say. Caught out once by the brilliance of Broich and Berisha.
Early free kick to the Roar. Luke Bratton strikes it again just with this problematic turf. Any bounce in front of the goalkeeper can provide a surprise. Flicked forward by Mackay. They'll be asking a lot of he and Thomas Broich in the second half. Ball retention will be Very important indeed for Brisbane Roar. Stefanuto, glanced wide by Broich. He was caught, but Bratton has the space now. Rolls into space for Miller. And what an opportunity that was for Liam Miller.
And his first touch was pretty good, wasn't it? And he just slightly leaning back as he hit it well over the crossbar in the end. Good pick out from Luke Bratton, so it's his final execution of the shot that let him down. His first touch was good.
And with the goals of Bessa Barisha can come that passion that overflows. You can judge for yourself whether that was a sending off. I'm sure the fans, neutral fans anyway, and the experts are split on that.
Well, I think they are. I got hammered on social media, Twitter, David, so
Garcia. Interesting words for him just before the half-time break. He was saying that they need to circulate the ball quickly, get players forward and with purpose.
And drag the 10 men of Brisbane around. That's what Sydney need to do.
Wouldn't they love to have the class of Del Piero and the goal-scoring cutting edge of Ranko Bespanovic on the pitch? They haven't. So the responsibility with Corey Gamiro and Richie Garcia, young Uraseski, who starts an A-League match for the first time. Abbas, it's a poor ball as Oktanovsky stretching. Well, trapped it well, but it was an awful release and opens up the path for Thomas Broich. And sure, it must be a booking, like a professional free kick.
He's got to be careful, Severo. Of course, he's already got a yellow card. It's a definite foul on Broich. Broich coming back, and he just catches him there.
Tap on the calf to stop the progress of the key playmaker for Brisbane Roar.
Well, you've seen challenges like that giving yellow cards. I'll leave it at that.
Miljetovic hasn't looked as assured in goal. He comes out and comfortable collect. As assured as last week anyway, when he had a standout performance for Sydney FC. Industrious first half by Mackay. It'll be really interesting, Rob, to see the way and the manner in which Sydney FC presses 10-man Raw second half.
Well, not much of a change at the moment.
Very quickly taken, Broich over the top. Miller. It's a good opportunity and buys some space for himself. Brown overran it when Gamiro misjudged it. So there really was an opening there for Brisbane Roar. Rory Brown went, of course, to the Asian Youth Championships, under 22 championships. Before that, he was playing regular first-team football in the absence of Shane Stefanuto, who missed over a month with that knee complaint. Gligor. Abbas has to stretch with the header. See that surface not anywhere near 100%, very bumpy. Not as bad as last week's derby. Pekovic. His release took a slight deflection. Well trapped by Gamiro. Got pace to burn. Ryle joining in. Corey Gamiro releases Ryle. Centre's good. And just chopped down at the end. Smith did enough to deny Richie Garcia.
Yeah, Smith, very good defending from him. Tracked the run of Garcia. Decent ball across from Ryle. Plays it in first time, and look at that for a lunge from Matt Smith.
Said Ryle. First 10 minutes was very positive for Sydney FC. And they did sit a little bit deeper, inviting Brisbane on.
There's the run from Gamero. First time across. And there's that desperate lunge. Tracked him well, Matt Smith.
Brown, Roach, waits for the contact, goes down but no whistle. Close quarters. Now Thomas Broich. Base tracking him. Beats one challenge. Ogdanovsky is there blocking the corridor. Opens up for Brisbane more centrally though. It's a lovely build-up. Hingett tries to drive it into space.
There's no one in there. Very isolated on the edge of the box, Jack Hingett.
Stefanuto with weight on the pass down the line. Brown took a deflection. Pekovic tidied up well. Here's Antonis trying to release Gamero. Across quickly, and that's good defending. Shane Stefanuto, he was aware of the pace of Corey Gamero.
And that's good pressing from Sydney. That's what they need to do.
Antonis wants greater movement ahead of him, and he's not getting it. You saw the arm raised by Haji Gligor before that. Now Pekovic forced back. Not too many options opening out in the midfield for Sydney. And that's a very poor square ball, and Nedovic will tidy it up. Making a hash of playing out from the back on this one, but they eventually get it to the left. Abbas trying to release the youngster Rusevski. Miller twisting.
And nice touch from Miller under pressure.
Brown goes inside. Risky pass. There's that taken on the arm of Sev Ryle. Ogdanovsky will bring all his experience to the bubble in the second half. Abbas scored from the penalty spot last week. Seal the points for Sydney FC. And see it off the chest, Ryle. Again, not too much on offer for Sydney.
They just need a link in the middle there. That's where Gligor needs to offer himself up more. And that's what they need to do as well. Stretch. They got numbers over there, and they've made a hash of that one.
Fans, Rob, will be a bit disappointed if they're not aggressive enough to open up the pitch, Sydney FC, in this type of situation, given what's on offer too. Remember, the victory and other result, if the results go against them, they could be out of the six.
It's so congested, but they've got a wonderful opportunity here.
Brown just shields the ball away from Gamero. Here's an opportunity. Ali Abbas.
Oh, just got a rush of blood. The ball to Luke Bratton sold him short, and he's injured himself in the process, I think. And Abbas won it. It's off the ground and just saw an opening. He's off balance as he hits it. Under pressure from Bratton, sails over the crossbar.
Ali Abbas. The most appearances for Sydney in the past 2 seasons, 46. He's appeared in every game since round 22 last season. So he's been Mr. Consistent for Sky Blues. And that's exactly what he'll be looking for second half. Consistent pressure on Brisbane. 10-man Brisbane, Frank Farina against his old club. Ricardo Vidicic alongside him, a former Brisbane Roar coach as well. since those heady days of Vitrano scoring the hat-trick at the stadium, he's been a little bit goal shy. Come striker.
It's been, what, 2 months since they've won away from home. Only 3 games, that is. Still, it shows the inconsistency of the teams behind, really. They've not taken advantage of that.
Goal in the past 3 away matches that make that 2 of their 4. And the Barisha's first half header. Second time this season, he'll have to sit out in suspension. And it's a good combination by Brisbane, chopped out by Ogdanoski. That's having to fight to maintain possession. As far as Sydney FC are concerned, it's been too much of a battle this season. We haven't seen their potential realised consistently. Bratton has to be a little bit careful. He's been liberal on the lift towards Peter O'Leary.
And I think Matt Smith and Thomas Boyce was pointing to as well. He's offside there, and really Garcia very isolated there. He can afford to press a little bit high, you would think.
The youngster Aaron Calver, who started the derby last week, about to replace Seb Ryle. Straight swap at right back.
You might be thinking also Seb Ryle on a yellow card. With 1 foul in the second half, where Brisbane players were looking for another yellow.
Swept wide in the path of Brown, who traps it well. Numbers 4-2 for Brisbane. It's played square. Step over was good. Mackay lays it off. Broich. This is where they're so dangerous in these situations, Brisbane. Rebounds off Ryle. And it's a corner for Brisbane Roar. The way the Cove saw it.
The last touch off a Sydney play. They won't make the substitution now. Defensive set piece. Came back off Seb Ryle. Was a bit unlucky, wasn't he?
Played square, and the shot tinged in by Bratton.
Yeah, it was a shot. It was on target as well. And Jedovic looked to have it covered as Brisbane have a pretty good account of themselves coming up opening 15 minutes of the second half.
Look says it all on the veteran Jedovic's face. He requires premium concentration from his defence. Well, it might be an injury that is stopping Seb Ryle's progress. He was very frothy when he cleared it off the left boot. Hence the move from Frank Barina. Calver replacing Seb Ryle, who's claimed his 3rd goal of the season in the first half. An excellent header. And that corner swung in.
He kept his eyes on it, didn't he? He was a little bit surprised because probably thought Theo was going to come for it.
18-year-old Aaron Calver on the pitch. So as the season draws longer, certainly the injury rate is getting up, and the attrition on the players. Obviously these 2 clubs not involved in Nation Champions League action, but Western Sydney, Central Coast and Melbourne Victory all battling on 2 fronts. Bratton hits the free kick well, but Garcia expertly placed. Bratton once more outside of the foot, finds its way to Thomas Broich. Gets rid of 2 players. Broich lays it off. Bratton, and the deflection wasn't kind to Brisbane.
Well, it wasn't on target either. Nicely worked from Thomas Broich in a very tight area.
Well, Stefanuto struggling.
Oh, he gets away with it, didn't he? Took a chance. Just had enough in the tank. Able to get his foot to that and get it out of the danger area, but in that clash, Nero has injured himself. Stefanuto gets to the ball.
Nero stretching every sinew. Of course, he was out a number of weeks with an injury early season. look forward to lucid attacking play with the absence of Spotovic and Del Piero. Of course, on the bench is outfield players. Joel Chianese returning from injury. Was Belmont, attacking player Matt Thompson, experience, and Alba already on the pitch. So Chianese looms as a right attacking option for Frank Farina. Pushing up, backing himself. That's what Sydney FC need to do, but that was overhit by some distance.
Yeah, right idea. He's trying to inject himself into that midfield, and just the execution on the pass wasn't there.
We talk about Brisbane's quality and the passing ability, their finishing, but what about some of their hard and scarce victories this season? Certainly a lot of self-belief in this squad. We saw it last week against Adelaide. Chief architect Thomas Broich involved. That's a lovely build-up, good layoff. And it deserved more of that move.
Well, he's going for placement. It's a poor effort in the end from Liam Miller. He's had 2 chances now. This is a far better one. Good work from Petrados. Just lays it back in his path. And look, he's going for placement, but he's done it twice now. You see how far he's leaning back as he hits that. Should really be doing better from there. The very bare minimum looks to work the keeper there. And Sydney are in. There's Alessandro Del Piero. They could do with him out there this evening. He'll get a cheer from the crowd.
Goals this season from ADP.
But Brisbane are playing not really with a number 9, so Petrados drops back into the midfield, and you've got Liam Miller and Broich in there, and the centre halves for Sydney picking up no one.
It's better in the design. There, Bus again just overcooking the ball to Garcia, who looks out on his feet. Romero got a knock to his leg minutes ago. Rosecki going nowhere, so he plays it back. It's not a great ball for Matt German.
Look at Brisbane with the 10 men. They're the ones pressing.
Antonis. Good dispatch. Rosecki has German on the overlap, but has got pace too. Slides it in the channel. Abbas needs a good cutback, but that was, again, an excellent piece of defending by Matt Smith.
Yeah, he needed to clip that one. Ali Abbas going for the near post. That's where all the bodies are. At that sort of position, you just want to hang this one up to the back post. So all the bodies there in and around the near post. Oh, another set piece for Sydney.
Abbas floats in the corner. Bobrovsky's there. And that should be easy pickings for Michael Theo. Just a sense that an air of frustration with the Sydney FC fans. They wanting the Sky Blues to be a lot more positive. And with the introduction of Joel Chianese, and it may just get that with Corey Gamiro making way. Chianese, 3 goals, scored against Newcastle twice and the Melbourne Heart. His 13th appearance. Remember, over 30 players used by... Oh, that's a rebound. And it's rebounded quietly from Michael Theo. Well, both goalkeepers, I think, haven't been on top form tonight. Rosecki almost came up with the most unlikely goal.
They get away with it. I remember one from Janjetovic in the first half and just didn't have the angle to play. He was trying to play it out to Jack Hingett. And he's so lucky that it goes wide. So a timely return, really
Frank Farina with Chianese. Despodovic out. Minimum 3 weeks, possibly longer.
A draw wouldn't be the worst result for Sydney FC given their record this season against Brisbane, but just the tightness of the top 6 outside of Brisbane, really the tempting fate, relying on other results to confirm the final spot. That's in the weeks to come. Lovely back flick, and Mackay sprays his shot wide. Again, Thomas Broich at the point of that move.
Oh, great touch from Thomas Broich, and it's just the final touch, isn't it? The actual shot, nothing wrong with the lead-up, brilliant awareness, good first touch from Matt Mackay, and he really just didn't believe in that, did he?
You can see some of the Brisbane players out on their feet, and the legs get tired. That's when the mistakes creep in. Concentration is so important. Humid night in Melbourne. Sorry, in Sydney. We are in Sydney. The city has the Sky Blues looking for a victory at home, and that's a yellow card.
Well, you just wonder there, is he the last man? Chianese was on his way.
Was it a book?
Oh, I think he clips him. The question there is, was he the last man? Sydney asked the question. Was that ball going to beat Chianese and angled towards the touchline?
This is where ADT would be taking the set piece, but Pekovic can provide a quality delivery. He needs it here. Sydney needs something to spark them. Approaching the 70-minute mark, and that was substandard by his standards.
Yeah, like he can deliver from that sort of area, and that was just poor execution. Couldn't beat the first man.
Throw on the path there of Antonis. Calva. Chianese. Ball just overhit to Petratos, who hasn't had the most influential of matches after his star-studded performance on Boxing Day. Or others look to be caught, or Urositsky at least. Sydney should win it back, but Brisbane fight for possession. Caught the arm there of Liam Miller. The set piece almost looks their best outlet at the moment, Sydney FC. They haven't created too much from open play. Pekovic curls a good one in. Ogdonovsky! And Michael Theo didn't quite have enough on the header from Ogdonovsky to worry the Brisbane Roar shot stopper. Good 1-2 play on the right. Hingett. Rebound. Is that a corner for Brisbane? It is.
Jack Hingett looking to get in behind. Little 1-2 with Thomas Broich. Sydney again on the back foot. They just haven't had someone to really put the foot on the ball and dictate the tempo against the 10 men. Brisbane have found a lot of gaps in between the lines.
Bratton, good shape on that corner. Stefanuto. Miller. Broich.
And you see where but you see where he picks up the ball, and two centre halves just standing off and not stepping in there, and they're allowing Miller and Broich to get in between the lines. And Brisbane have done it very well.
See Frank Farina very animated, wanting more pressure. And Brisbane have possession. Bratton overcooks the pass. hit in hope, but it ends up for second ball possession with Sydney. Garcia, Urasevsky, moving ahead. Antonis is in the centre. Aliabas is forced back on his heels. Gligor. He sells Calvar short.
You wonder when Mulvey might look to his substitutions.
Sydney FC have got a great opportunity here if they can seize the moment. The injuries and the sending off of Besant Berisha from Brisbane. They haven't been in premium form in the last month. Sky Blues need to ask the question. Can they do it? Here's Abbas. Hits the shot. Wasn't too far away in the end, but he had his near post covered. Did Michael Theo?
He needs to go across the other way. It looked like Theo was a little bit surprised. They just backed off him. Had the little ball to his left-hand side, the overlapping run from German, but a rather tame effort in the end from Aliabas.
Still 3 points. It would be 13 their break over the Western Sydney Wanderers, Brisbane Roar. Point wouldn't be the worst result given their plight. The third first half sending off of a Brisbane Roar player this season. 2 red cards to Besant Berisha, 1 to Diego Ferreira. The run of Brown, but just a little bit too central to ball. Mackay, Roach need to circulate it quickly. Smith tries the defence splitting pass, but the problem was there was no orange shirt in space. And as it stands, the 1-1 result is how the A-League ladder will look after this match anyway. Roar with that 11-point buffer over the Wanderers, and Sydney FC in 4th place. There's certain to change at the end of round 23. Plenty of possible permutations in the A-League. Chianese trying to utilise his fresh legs, looking for support. A rise in the form of Calvar. Antonis, nothing on offer. The movement has been pretty static by Sydney FC tonight. The back heel was a lot more effective by Deutsch than Antonis. The Roar will look to utilise their experienced heads in this situation. Miller accepts from Mackay. The ball a bit poorly hit for Petratos. Smith has been a giant at the back for Brisbane Roar. For mine, he's been their best player. Well, that's a lovely ball on the path with Miller, one way then the other. And Liam Miller can't find the target. It was a tight angle, but it was an excellent opportunity as well.
Well, it's a fantastic run from Liam Miller, and he did everything right. Here gets his first touch. Okinanovsky thinks about it. And then he goes to ground, and it opens up for Liam Miller. And he's had 3 chances in this second half. And it's his finishing that's let him down. At times, Brisbane, I think it was the other way around. They've got the 11 and Sydney have got the 10. Liam Miller, so nice on the ball tonight. Drifted into some really good areas, and it's just his finishing that's let him down. He's had some pretty good opportunities.
Double move by Mike Mulvey. Enrique about to come on. With Petratos off. So Lustig had the other move previous to Enrique coming onto the pitch with a very polished midfielder. Enrique, good situation for him. The ability to get in behind and offer that pace and finishing for Brisbane Roar. Abbas. Petkovic forward, it is. Stretching effort by Brown on the turn. Garcia! Oh, terrific effort, Matt Mackay. Charged down the shot. Desperation personified for Brisbane Roar.
Great interception from Matty Mackay. Petkovic comes up from the back. The cross, Corey Brown misread it. Garcia swivels. And look at Matt Mackay with a desperate lunge. Brilliant stuff from Matt Mackay.
This match getting stretched. Corner for Sydney FC. Glanced away. Relief for Brisbane. Sky Blues teasing their fans after the heights of Derby success last week. Garcia chased it down. Galva. So the offside flag was up.
It's very sloppy from Sydney.
Roach takes it quickly. Mackay's tote wasn't as successful as his defensive block moments ago. Those little things make the difference between a point and a loss here for Brisbane. Although they have outplayed Sydney for the majority of this match. Bratton cushions the header. Some loose pass. Just not enough consistency with Sydney's ball retention.
I just haven't had someone to put the foot on it and dictate the tempo of the game, move it quicker.
Bass has a good setter, and Chianese just was off balance when he struck.
Yeah, he's falling, I think, as he hits it. Ball to the back post. Bass just flights this one, hangs it up. Very difficult to control that one for Joel Chianese. You see the back line there of Sydney, just not picking anyone up, and Brisbane just outnumbering them in the midfield, in the pockets.
Clips it over the top. Hinkett was in space. Now the turnover. Now Siedney to get it moving quickly. And Antonis under pressure. Look at Brisbane swarm. Really putting a lot of pressure on Sydney. Carver into the channel, but he sold his teammate short. It opens up beautifully for Broich. Square he goes. Enrique. Thomas Broich had a goal disallowed last week. It was clearly in, and that's not going in from the Brazilian Enrique.
Oh, Brisbane, great opportunity. Broich, you can't say that too often, but I think the better option was Corey Brown down the left in the first phase of that attack. Enrique, difficult to control that one first time. I think he could have taken a touch there, particularly on his left foot coming across his body.
Final substitution, Diego Ferreira replacing Shane Stefanuto. And the armband off for Richie Garcia.
No, I think Stefanuto stayed on. I think he's gone to left back. Looked like he was going to go off. And Ferreira's gone in to the centre of defence alongside Matt Smith.
Arm off on for Richie Garcia. Another young player with plenty of promise.
Look at Broich in the pocket. That's where they lost the game.
Enrique, again, too much space for Enrique. Miller on the angle, takes a deflection. It's a timely corner for Brisbane Roar as Lustica. Square on the quarter count, but Certainly as far as endeavour goes, you'd have to give that count firmly with Brisbane Roar. The entire second half and some of the first. Only 10 men following the sending off of Besart Barisha. Swinging away from the near post to 2 blue shirts up there. And Yetovich rises and collects comfortably. Sydney FC go to Adelaide next week, which will be a daunting task, and that is not a good clearance. So mistakes becoming very prevalent here for the home side. It's a lovely ball. Oh, is that a winner? No. That's a good defensive block in the end. Gleekor lunging across. Steve Lusliger made the run, but how about the quality from Thomas Broich?
He's been absolutely brilliant. The vision, thought he might have gone himself there, but just think there, Lusliger just swing a leg at it maybe. It's a great challenge from Gleekor coming in. Brisbane looking the more likely.
On a knife edge here, can Brisbane break through? Luke Bratton had his corner blocked by Gleekor. He'll get a second bite of this one. Good skill by Luke Bratton to play in Broich.
Never gets flustered, Thomas Broich, does he?
To draw errors from Sydney FC. This time it's a decision the way of the Sky Blues that so that's the face there of Joel Chianese. They've lost 14 goals and 2 players with Despodovic and Del Piero. A lot of goal-scoring punch, but really been there creating of chances. That's been the disappointing factor for Sydney FC. May change here as Antonis tried to slide Urasevski through.
Oh, that ball was on. Just didn't squeeze it through there. Great little run from Urasevski. And Antonis saw it, but just couldn't execute the pass. He would have been one-on-one with Theo.
Will there be a hero emerge in the remaining 5 minutes or so? Broich switching flanks. Bratton plays it early. Enrique. This is a good opportunity for Enrique. The slippery fish. Outnumbered 3-1.
Just had too many. Got to be very slippery there, the slippery fish, with too many bodies in the end. And Sydney, can they find something?
Fans urging them on. Havas. That's a good centre. Chianese will have taken away by Michael Theo. In behind, the flag is up on Enrique.
Oh, just thought for a minute, did Okmanovsky just hang back a little bit? They've been very close.
Certainly some tired bodies out there.
Mackay's worked so hard in that midfield area.
Antonis. Sweeping ball. Taken away by Hingett. That was an important touch. Jack Hingett. Kind of a remodelled back four for Brisbane in the absence of Jade North. And Ivan Franjic, of course. Broich has worked tirelessly.
And this is where they've outnumbered Sydney, incredibly. In that middle of the park, the back four just sat in, really. And just allowed for Brisbane to play in little triangles in that middle third.
You see even Smith, the captain, the centre-back, getting forward, creating an extra man in midfield for Brisbane.
And a super performance from the 10 men of Brisbane, really has.
Splitting pass, Enrique needs a quality touch, doesn't get it. Calva stood his ground and did well. A little nutmeg for good measure. And Titus spots the run. Is that Chianese popping up on the left? And that's a foul conceded. Actually, Malmoth with his first touch.
They're just trying to nick it over, hing it and get around the back. And Del Piero they could have done with him.
There's the run home. Sydney away to Adelaide in the victory. Phoenix and Perth. Brisbane and Melbourne victory is their next assignment. Urosevsky. So plenty of young players have been given oxygen this season by Frank Farina, but you'd have to say, Rob, no one player's really risen above a pretty even group.
Yeah, they've done well enough in periods, and no one's really stood out though. The one man they needed probably with all these young players tonight was Alessandro Del Piero when they went to 10 men, and this sort of game was tailor-made for him. Someone to control the game, foot on the ball.
Scoring against Brisbane, so
they've just had a lack of creativity in the middle of the park.
Bratton can shoot from range. Janjetovic not convincing, and almost profiting was Enrique.
Well, they just backed off Bratton, and he's lucky Janjetovic that didn't have a bit of backspin on it. Bounced just in front of him, but danger again coming from the middle of the park where they just back off.
Is there a late twist? Both teams have had excellent chances second half to break this 1-1 deadlock. And Janjetovic will go long. Easily cushion header by Smith. And this is opening up nicely for Brisbane. Angle ball, Enrique! Oh, that's a terrific save. Janjetovic was on top form there.
Yeah, it's a good save because it's low as well, down by his side. And Sydney get away with it. Bratton, he's been really good in that middle of the park as well. Just played it through to Enrique. And Enrique's reaction after he hits it, this is the first one where he's lucky there's not some backspin on that. Recovers it at the second attempt. You see the angle there from in the goal, but this one, great little ball in there, Enrique, and then he didn't follow it in. He just stopped as he hit it with his hands on his head.
Got to credit the assist there from Steve Lustica. Beautifully weighted ball.
Yeah, I think I gave the credit to Luke Bratton. It was Lustica with the little flick and the snapshot from Enrique.
Donoski going down with cramp. Of course, not a lot of senior football for the Og of recent times.
Well, he's talked about his desire to go to Brazil. Sasha Olkmanovsky's certainly had a massive impact at Sydney since his arrival.
3 minutes of injury time. Calvert stretching the legs. Chianese on his heels, but initially the throw was in the direction of Brisbane, but correction from the assistant. Chianese in a congested area. Brisbane should clear. Bratton. Broich. Mackay put Bratton under pressure. And Brisbane will be satisfied with the 1-1 result, but it could have been a whole lot more.
Yeah, they'll feel disappointed they haven't gone and won this game. The chances they've made in the second half.
Mackay. Broich, is there one more effort for Brisbane? Matt Mackay. Enrique has it taken away Antonis looking to switch quickly. Pekovic, they need numbers forward. Will they utilise the fresh legs? Nikola Pekovic drive into space. He wins the free kick. That's very well earned.
He always had that on his mind, didn't he? It's really good play from Pekovic. He's just injected him. He just kept going. Chased by two and draws the foul. Wow. Could they snatch it? And the sandwich, Hingett and Bratt. Pekovic is going to fancy this.
My memory says Pekovic has hit the crossbar a couple of times this season. Still searching for his first A-League goal. The captain looks on. Not the best angle for the left footer, but it's certainly hit a free kick.
Michael Theo off his line. A metre off his line.
Enrique joins into the wall. Pekovic drives it, and it flashes. I think Theo had a good sight of the angle of that free kick.
He went for pure power, didn't he? Mishit it in the end. Goes for the side that Theo's protecting. So he's probably anticipating him to go over the wall. He tries to put his foot right through that to miss it in the end.
Enrique wasn't seen. The goal kick very much in the favour of Brisbane Roar. 3 minutes of injury time has elapsed. And there it is. No goals in the second half, but plenty of controversy in the first, with a couple of goals and a sending off to Besant Berisha, who opened the scoring for Brisbane Roar, only to see Sebral equalise before the break. Sydney FC could not take advantage of the 10-man Brisbane Roar. In fact, it was the Roar second half that was more likely to steal the 3 points. The former Roar coach shakes hands with Mike Mulvey. So the Premier's plate won't be won and confirmed here by Brisbane. But the point will give them a very, very convincing cushion indeed over the Western Sydney Wanderers. Sydney could not seize the moment at home under all the passion of last week's derby. Sebral didn't see out the 90 minutes, but got himself on the score sheet in the first half. Final